You've been underestimated before, talked down to, ignored. They smiled politely, but never really took you seriously. And maybe you felt the need to prove yourself, to speak louder, stand taller, argue harder. But what if I told you the very thing you see as weakness is actually your greatest weapon? You think being underestimated is a disadvantage? That if people don't see your strength, they'll walk all over you? But that's exactly the trap. Because the easiest person to deceive is the one who thinks he's smarter than you. Law 21 of Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power says it simply, play a sucker to catch a sucker. Why? Because arrogance blinds. And the moment they stop seeing you as a threat is the moment you become the most dangerous person in the room. But let's be honest. It's hard to let people think you're weaker than you are. Your ego wants recognition. You want to be seen, validated, respected. So you interrupt. You over-explain. You correct them not because you need to, but because you can't stand feeling underestimated. That's not strategy. That's insecurity. And it's costing you everything. You've been trained to perform, to speak clearly, to correct others when they're wrong, to defend your intelligence, to prove that you know what you're talking about. But let me ask you this, how often has proving yourself actually earned you power? Here's the truth. Every time you rush to correct someone, you expose something more than knowledge. You expose neediness. You show them your desire to be seen as smart, and in that moment, you become predictable. So stop. Stop performing. Start strategizing. Do you know who becomes untouchable? The one who observes. The one who listens carefully, asks softly, smiles gently. The one who seems average until it's far too late. You need to become the invisible strategist, the person no one notices until they've already won, the one they laugh at until the room changes, and suddenly they realize you've been holding the knife behind the curtain the entire time. When people think you're beneath them, they never guard themselves. They speak too much. They reveal their intentions. They show their weaknesses like trophies. Let them underestimate you. Because while they look down on you, you're already 5 steps ahead. You don't need to dominate the room. You just need to control the timing. That's real power. 5 strategic moves to master Law 21. 1. Ask soft questions. When someone feels superior, they become generous with their thoughts. Ask, what do you think about this? Not because you need the answer, but because their ego needs to be heard. And every word they say is a breadcrumb you'll use later. 2. Listen like a trap. Don't interrupt. Don't one-up. Let them speak as much as they want. Because eventually, the confident will reveal what the wise would never say aloud. People love the sound of their own intelligence. Give them the stage, and they'll destroy themselves. 3. Hide your depth. Use simple words. Smile modestly. Speak with the tone of someone still figuring things out. Because nothing is more dangerous than a sharp mind hidden behind soft eyes. 4. Don't correct arrogance, feed it. If they're wrong, let them stay wrong. When you correct them, they see you as a threat. When you agree with them, they drop their guard. They think they've won, and that's exactly what you want them to believe. 5. Save your strike for silence. The most powerful move you'll ever make is the one they never see coming. You don't need to speak much. You only need to act once, and it must be irreversible. In silence, you prepare the blade. In silence, you map the terrain. And when you strike, it's not a battle, it's a conclusion. Most people don't argue to discover truth. They argue to assert dominance. When they feel smarter than you, they believe they're in control. But control, real control, is never loud. It's quiet, invisible, surgical. Here's how your silence and softness weaponize their own psychology against them. 1. You become a blank screen. They project confidence onto you. They think they've won. But they don't realize they're performing for someone who's already decided not to clap. 2. They reveal themselves. When they feel they don't need to guard themselves, they start exposing strategy. They mention things they shouldn't. They dismiss you as not a threat. And every dismissive glance becomes a liability. 3. You disrupt their narrative. Arrogant people operate through predictability. I dominate, others submit. But when you don't push back and you don't submit, their brain scrambles for control. They lose footing because you're not playing the role they assigned you. This is psychological collapse, and they don't even see it happening until it's too late. Now, here's the part no one tells you. The reason most people fail to apply this law is not because they lack intelligence. It's because they can't stand being unseen. You crave recognition. You want them to know you're smart. You want them to acknowledge your effort, your intellect, your work. But that craving is a chain. It's the reason they beat you. Because while you're working to be understood, they're working to win. Your need to be seen makes you blind. Your need to be validated becomes your leash. And the moment they realize they can tug on it, they own you. Arrogance doesn't need to destroy you. Your response to it does. So let them brag. Let them mock. Let them believe they've won. Because you know the truth. They're not being strategic. They're being loud. And loud people never see the knife coming. You don't need the spotlight. You need leverage. And leverage comes to the one who keeps their mouth shut and their mind sharp. Here's the paradox of real power. The stronger you are, the less you need to prove it. The more intelligent you become, the less you feel the urge to show it. You don't need to raise your voice to dominate. You don't need to argue to win. You don't need to shine to be unforgettable. Being underestimated isn't weakness, it's your camouflage. Because when you stop announcing yourself, you stop inviting resistance. People protect themselves from visible threats, but the quiet one, the agreeable one, the one who seems like they're still learning, they're invisible until they're not. And by the time the others realize what you are, it's too late to stop you. So let them think you're harmless. Let them sleep on you. Let them think they figured you out. Because when you finally move, you won't need to convince anyone of who you are. They'll feel it. They'll regret it. And they'll never forget it. Now it's your turn. If you're ready to stop performing, if you're done trying to prove yourself to people who will never respect you, if you're ready to let them underestimate you so you can build power in silence, comment below. I let them underestimate me. Write it not for the algorithm, write it for you, to anchor this shift in your identity. Because Law 21 isn't about deception, it's about restraint. It's about mastering the ego so fully that your silence becomes your blade. And if this message landed for you, the next video is even more important. We'll explore how silence disarms manipulators and rewires social power dynamics in your favor. It's not about staying quiet. It's about choosing when to strike. Watch it, not because I said so, but because you're done playing small, and you're ready to win the war you never knew you were in.